Hey there guys, Fave here, and today we're going to talk about the ultimate topic, Robux versus TIX. Now for those of you that might be newer to Roblox, you might not even know what TIX are, if you haven't heard about the tons of people complaining about it for the last 5 years. Well, I'll explain all of that, but first I have to give you today's challenge. Today's challenge is, if Fave ever said ban forever, then smash that like button. Also, I noticed most of you aren't subscribed, so what are you doing? Go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell, and maybe you won't get banned forever. Anyways, let's get into it. Robux versus TIX. So what are TIX? Well, so tickets were originally introduced on August 2nd, 2007 as an alternative currency to Robux. So you would get 1 ticket every time someone joined your game and 10 ticks every day just for logging on. Now when TIX first came out, there was no way to trade your ticks for Robux. As a matter of fact, if you had TIX, then you could buy stuff for TIX, and if you had Robux, you could buy stuff for Robux. But you couldn't switch between the two currencies. So the way people would try to get around that back in the day was by selling each other t-shirts, because in 2007, we had the Builders Club first came out, and the only thing you could upload to Roblox were t-shirts. If you don't know what t-shirts are, they're these things that only cover your torso, as you can see here. Now, if we keep going all the way to the last page of my t-shirts, we can actually see how people used to trade TIX for Robux all the way back in 2007. But we have to go way back. So here we have a t-shirt that I made on November 23rd, 2007. And I wrote this: "Hi, I'm trading 20 Robux for 1,000 tickets. So who would participate in the trade? PS 6Kenny6. Okay, first of all, I probably just used the phrase PS completely wrong there. And I'm surprised at the age of 6 I could spell all these words correctly. It's kind of impressive. But the description says who would participate in the trade. It says this shirt has 2 sales, so people were willing to trade me their Robux for TIX. But unfortunately, I would love to scroll to the part of my sales where this occurred, but that would take way too long. Literally, I have tens of thousands of sales, and I can't get to the bottom of it for many, many hours. Okay, but so this was an example of it. You couldn't use anything to exchange Robux for TIX and vice versa. So people would do stuff like this, you know? Here's another trade shirt. I would use this shirt too. As you can see, 12 sales. I mean, what? I even traded with the infamous Roblox hacker Fede. I guess he never bought the shirt, but it's funny how I used a bill as a t-shirt icon. I still had jokes back then. But yeah, we would just be trading Robux and TIX and stuff. I mean, I bought his t-shirt for trading. And yeah, so that's where it all started. Trading Robux for TIX with t-shirts. There was no official rates. There was nothing really official about it. It was just something users did. So in 2008, 1 year after TIX were introduced, there was a solution decided to be proposed by Shidletsky, also known as Telma at the time. Here's this blog post from November 21st, 2008. It's the economy. So here's the original post as it stood in 2008. You have a picture of some coins here and then a graph going up and down. It's the economy. Ironically, in real life at the time, the globe was going through a whole recession, so, you know, whatever. So they introduced the RoblEX currency exchange. Most of you won't remember some of the crazy promises we made about delivering a currency exchange soon after we created the tickets currency. We have always believed that an exchange was necessary for our economy to work in the way that we would like it to. After 14 months, that's over a year, it has finally arrived. Alright, so here is how it looked in 2008 when the feature first came out. And let me explain a few concepts here. So on the left here we have tickets, and on the right here we have Robux. At the bottom you can see what you traded it for. I mean, 10 ticks for 325 Robux? As you'll come to find out, this is an insane rate. I mean, for most of the life of the trade currency, 1 Robux equal 10 ticks. So 10 ticks should only be 1 Robux. But in this test from November 20th, 2008, 1 TIX was about 32 Robux, which means you would get 300 Robux a day just for logging in, if only it really worked like that. Realistically speaking though, the rates as it stood in late 2008 in this very low quality screenshot, but we have it here, would show that 6 TIX was about equal to 1 Robux, and there was different rates. There's 4, up to 6, and then even up to 10. It really depends on what you would put your trade at. Now the trade currency was a very complicated thing. So complicated in fact that I kind of suck at explaining it. Basically, Everything you see on the left and the right, the list of numbers you see here, each of these numbers and like rates were each offers put up on the market by users at the time. But I'll get more into how people got rich off the trade currency later in the video. The currency exchange, whatever you want to call it, the RoblEX as they called it when it came out. And basically you see this box here, you would type in a number and it would tell you how much your stuff is worth. Now that's a market order. A limit order is how much do you want, and you gotta hope that someone will execute your trade. Now this is a pretty complicated concept, but I want to make it easy for everyone to understand. Okay, so this is where it all started. In November 2008, when it first came out, all these different numbers meant different things, and this would soon become the method many users used to become super rich and wealthy on Roblox using the earliest forms of bots. Very simple ones. So let's go ahead and continue here. So I said before that tickets on Roblox usually were 10 tickets per 1 Robux, but this rate would change all the time. Like for instance, this is what the trade currency looked like in 2014. As you can see, it was a lot cleaner, it got updated, and at this time it was 17 ticks for a Robux. But now let's really start going over the trading currency a little bit more. So this video from 2014 by King Dev is called How to Convert Ticks into Robux or Robux into Ticks. First of all, this is what Roblox looked like in 2014. I mean, I can't believe that was 7 years ago, and I was still making videos, and I still, I was out here. But anyway, let's go ahead and fast forward in the video to the juicy part. So you can see there's all different types of exchanges happening here, and let's just watch this person trade Robux for ticks or vice versa. So they click the trade button, they go ahead and keep it at ticks, and then they type in 31 ticks. And it says he'll get 0 Robux, which I don't understand that. But now it says he'll get 1 Robux. Now these rates are pretty botched, but hey. Now if you switch it over to Robux, you can trade your Robux for ticks. Now generally speaking, Robux is worth a lot more than ticks. As you can see, 8 Robux will give you 137 ticks. That's a big difference right there. That's multiplication at its finest. Anyways, there's also the limit orders, but that was very complicated. And as you can see, here's some just old Roblox stuff. Whatever. Okay, so that's an example of the trade currency at work in 2014, the early days. So here's a video Linkmon99 uploaded in 2011 called Buying the Dark Seed for 100,000 Ticks. As you can see, the trade currency button was right there in the catalog. I mean, if you were getting free ticks every day, you would want to convert it to Robux. Anyway, here's the Dark Seed on sale for 100,000 ticks, and he said it was worth about 13,000 Robux, meaning the rate was about 8 ticks per 1 Robux in 2011. And you can see all the different comments back then. And yeah, here's him buying it for 100,000 ticks. Boom, he bought it. That's crazy. I mean, you can't even do that anymore. Ticks don't even exist because they removed them in 2016. Alright, so I have a video called The Story of Ticks that explains the whole history of ticks, so make sure to check that out in the top right corner. And let's go ahead and jump into the trade currency a little bit more. Robux versus ticks. The rate of Robux as opposed to the ticks. Here's Elementus with a Roblox market status update from November 4th, 2010. As we can all currently view, the catalog is experiencing its weekly upturn, which in prices for Robux have increased. If any Builders Club people see the 1 Robux item there, it is a definite buy, which in my opinion might spark BC only gears and hats. Be prepared for that. So here's Elementus predicting a feature that wouldn't come to Roblox for another month, whereas Builders Club only items, which means you had to have premium to buy these items in modern day terms. So 11 ticks equaled 1 Robux in late 2010, and you could see some replies. Why is the ticket rate doing so bad, you may ask? Melting says, a program that I have, and a few others have, creates an account, buys your t-shirt, and then logs off. It repeats the process and is a 23-second rotation. After all that happens, those exploited tickets go into the trade currency, approximately 20,000 tickets at a time. This is why tickets are dropping and dropping and dropping. So the bots in 2010 were primitive, but the reason why whenever you sign into Roblox today and you have to like spin the ball around or click on the traffic light or whatever the heck, it's because of these people in 2010 that were making bots to mass register Roblox accounts. Because whenever you created a Roblox account, you would start with 10 ticks. Then you could just buy a t-shirt from your main account for 10 ticks, get about 9 ticks, and then, make the process repeat itself with bots. It's a very repeatable process. That's why Roblox introduced bots. But I've done a full video about this topic before. You can check that on the top right corner, how Roblox caught the bots. So yeah. Anyways, But anyways, if we're looking at some more forum posts from the time, we have tickets to Robux. This is from March 2016, when tickets were literally about to be removed. So Prioxamaria, I don't know how to say your name, said, "Hey everyone, if you have not converted all your ticks to Robux yet, you better do it quickly. The exchange rate has gone up exponentially to the point that I traded in nearly 300 ticks and got 14 Robux." Which means it was at over 20 ticks per Robux at this point. Now, people were predicting the crazy rates that were going to go up and all that stuff. RIP to tickets. But let's go ahead and look at the next thing. Here's someone complaining about the currency exchange system. And he's just complaining about being broke, that you only get 10 ticks per day. But if you saved your ticks for a while, you could buy cool stuff on the catalog. Maybe not in 2015, but back then for sure. Some items back then cost both Robux and ticks. So back in the day, Roblox would make many items cost both Robux and ticks due to the lack of an exchange system back then. So they wanted to make sure people could buy the items that they wanted to buy, whether they had Robux or ticks, because they're both currencies. The best example I can remember right now is the astronaut helmet, which costs both 25 Robux and 115 ticks, which is a very strange rate when you reflect on it. It's way cheaper in ticks if you convert that to Robux than it is if you converted the Robux to ticks. So anyways, this is what Roblox looked like in 2008, Olympic ring. It was the Olympics, so makes sense. And so that's what Jetpack Boy was on about, how to take advantage of tickets. Now, people were predicting that the market would crash and all that stuff. And whenever they removed ticks, they would exchange your tickets, 17 tickets per 1 Robux, which isn't that bad actually. Because I thought it would be hundreds and even thousands of ticks for Robux. But they tried to fix the economy before they ruined it. Alright. Now, on the day they removed ticks, it cost 16,000 Robux for 205,000 tickets. Now, if you do the math here, that's about 12 ticks per Robux, which means the rates never got too destroyed. Now, after ticks were removed, there were still some items in the catalog that appeared to be costing ticks, and ticks remained in the Roblox files to this day. So here's a gentleman's spring hat for 100 ticks, and this video is from May 2016. They already removed ticks at this point. And as you can see, how are you supposed to buy this for ticks if there's no ticks? I mean, he thinks it's Illuminati because of the triangles everywhere, but you know, that was the memes back then. A few hours later, they changed it to 100 Robux, but what I don't get about this is how 3,600 copies were sold between the 2 times that he checked. I mean, I might do a full video about this item in the future, but for now, there you go. Anyways, now here's a quick overview of some of the historic rates of ticks to Robux. So we'll start in 2008, okay? 1 Robux was equal to about 2.4 tickets when the feature first came out. Very cheap. And in fact, I could view my history of Robux and ticks trades back when the trade currency was still around. Unfortunately, that's all gone. But anyways, in May 2009, 7 ticks was 1 Robux. But in March 2009, there was 20 ticks, so it would fluctuate all the time. It would hover around 10 ticks per Robux, but sometimes you'd have really weird incidents. Whereas in October 1st, 2013, 1 Robux is roughly equal to 1 ticket. This is probably due to economy manipulation by users, and it didn't last very long. But it's still fun to note. And then, just 6 months later, in April 2014, 28 tickets equaled 1 Robux. So it's crazy to see how much the rates would fluctuate back then. But my main point is, we have to now talk about the trade currency bots, which is what I've been holding off talking about the whole video. So this stuff right here would get botted by the masses, okay? Because it was so easy. All you had to do was paste something into your address bar in like Google Chrome or Internet Explorer, whatever you used back then, and then it would just run a script for you. These were known as trade currency bots. Now, Mus Yoshi was a user back then on Let's Make a Deal that created one and made a bot that basically so many people got rich by taking advantage of the trade currency. They got super rich, hundreds of thousands of Robux, could buy whatever they wanted because they would trade as the rates of Robux versus ticks would fluctuate. So this was the trade currency, and its very common acronym back then was TC. So if you ever see something old on Roblox and somebody was TCing or they got rich off the TC, that's the trade currency. Here's some examples of people gaining riches from the trade currency. I just gained 96 tickets in 30 seconds. Good day to TC. I hope you go to the sun and freeze to death. I don't know what kind of Siggy that is. Exactly 40,000 posts, kind of cool. And then here's Brandon asking, should I risk TCing? I don't know, I have 4.8k, but I kind of want 5k. If it doesn't work out, just cancel it. Make sure you do it when the spread is negative 10,000. Oh my god, the spread. That's a whole other thing. I don't even want to get into that. Do it later or now? Wow, easy. ITC with 100,000 Robux. The more Robux you had to play with, the more Robux you could gain. It works the same way in real life with the stock market and cryptocurrency and stuff. So it's crazy to see how Roblox is always ahead of their time, as usual. I mean, limiteds are just really NFTs, really. People would trade their stuff low and then trade it high and then make profits because of the fluctuating rates. It actually wasn't that hard, and it was something I did on Fave with 1A to get a lot of Robux too. So, anyways, that's about all I wanted to talk about as far as the trade currency goes today. A major shout out to Robo Eyeglass 101 for compiling a lot of this information. And yeah, that is the history of Robux versus TIX. Let me know what you guys think about down below. How would you trade your TIX or Robux? Were you around for this? Do you think this is interesting? Let me know. Make sure you smash that like button. Follow me on Instagram at Fave here. Join my groups on Roblox, RoblEX Fangub, and Fave's Cave. Check out the channel membership to join my next subscribe button for early access to videos and more. And join my Discord server, discord.gg/Fave. And it's your boy Fave, and I am out.